Hi. First of all, I'd like to say thank you to everybody who sent in all of the wonderful questions and comments for our conversation today. The examples that were sent are a mirror of everything that's happening for everyone. So if you haven't sent in a question or you haven't thought of a comment that you wanted to make, that's okay, because it's going to be addressed in some way today as we go through these beautiful questions and comments. And know that I'm in the process of creating a wonderful new course called The Art of Creation, so that as we come out the other side of this very unusual experience, we will begin to create truly new lives for ourselves. So let us begin with the first comment that was just lovely. Long before the world could pause to listen, you have been consistently speaking out. I just want to thank you for that. God bless. So, true. Isn't this a time when we are all beginning to listen? Now is the time to listen. And in the listening mode, what you are doing is you are hearing God itself. You are hearing the voice of God speak to you in the various ways that we're all experiencing this virus, in the ways that everyone is helping everybody else. And the union that is coming together right now is, as this person said, a time to pause to listen. Long before the world could pause to listen, the world is in pause. It's sort of like hitting the pause or the sleep button on the alarm, you know? The world is just going, take a breath. And in that pause, there begins to become a whole new way of understanding, seeing, and being. So the way the earth is going to be when this particular round of experiences is over is not the way that we began the experience. This is true transformation. You know how everybody's asking for transformation and everybody wants to find some way to make changes? The changes are here. And as you begin to understand that these changes are created by you, through you, you will realize that everything that you experience comes to you through the vibration that you are holding. So whatever vibration you are holding, however you are listening or learning to listen, that begins to become the way other people experience you as well. All righty. So here is another thought and sort of question. And I'm not giving anybody's identity out. This is going to be posted on YouTube and Vimeo, and of course sent to all of you that have sent in the questions and my newsletter. But I will not use anything that will even remotely identify who you are. So you are incognito. I am feeling a sense of heaviness and uncertainty as I go to work each day. I've taken as many precautions as I can for my office. I'm not as concerned for my personal health as I am for the possibility that I can pass the virus to my husband, who in turn could bring it into the nursing home where he works. So the optimal way that this could play out, of course, is that both people could stay home. But both of them have jobs that require that they go and take care of the health of others. So when this person says, I am feeling a sense of heaviness and uncertainty, and I'm not as concerned for my personal health, the heaviness and the uncertainty is what can change that personal health. So what you want to realize then is that how you are feeling, what you are experiencing, what you are bringing forward is what you want others to feel through you, through your vibration. And because the mind wants to be in control, because that's really what this question is about control. So when you're coming to the sense that I have to control something, I have to make something be a certain way, I don't want the people in the nursing home where my husband works to get sick. This is really about control. So rather than getting into a control stance or heaviness and uncertainty going to work every day, The feeling of joy that fills your cells is what you want to experience. Just like we talked about in the energy and the coronavirus conversation that we had last month, for those of you who took part in that, we talked a great deal about how your cells themselves that the receptors in them are like keyholes, and that the key, which is the virus or the chemical that creates joy, can move into that keyhole, can begin to become the way you experience whatever you're experiencing. So you have control over it. You have control over what is going to fill that keyhole in the receptor of your cell. So you can begin to be in this state of joy rather than heaviness and uncertainty, so that your cells themselves are full, and then they do not have a way to pick up the virus. And again, we would say that while this conversation today is both practical and spiritual, on the spiritual side, we would say that don't get lost in your mind. Don't think that you need to control something to make sure that the people in the nursing home are not going to get ill. Because what you're going to realize is that you cannot stop that. You could take every precaution there is, your husband could take every precaution he takes, and then somebody else comes into the nursing home that isn't taking precautions. So your mind itself is trying to control something that you, as the divine I am, already know you cannot control. That is the beauty, that is the blessing of allowing yourself to relax, to be at ease. Use some of the guided meditations that I have on YouTube. Let yourself really relish what is possible for you. Sit in silence. Feel the release of the control that you think is important, so that the quality of your life moves from this heaviness and uncertainty into truly allowing the love that you are, the peace that you are, to begin to flow into where you work, into home, even as you're driving down the street, coming back home from work or going to work. Then you know that you're not lost in this thought that, oh my gosh, what's going to happen now? What if I contract the virus, or I am an asymptomatic carrier and my husband takes it to the nursing home? All of those fears, all of those doubts, all of those uncertainties do nothing to prevent that from happening. All you can truly do as the divine I am is to realize that the beauty of what is happening right now is the grace that you are bringing to this earth. The fact that you can actually go to work and help people, and allow that to be the answer to your question. Okay. So we have another one here. Most of the time, I am in a wonderful state of peace, in spite of the occasional sadness for those who are suffering. We are being very careful with social distancing, etc., continue to eat healthy, and do all the things we know for keeping our immune system in good shape. The only times I lose that sense of peace seem to be when I feel out of control of my situation, like when our daughter wants to come by with the kids and I have to set limits. I know I need to be assertive in protecting my health, and it is still not easy for me. At least I think I'm aware of the dynamic going on inside my head. For the most part, exclamation point. I do see this time of imposed distancing as a gift from the universe, a much needed respite from the crazy, busy life we have had for at least the past 4 years, if not more. It feels so comforting and soothing to have time to just be. Let's address that. She goes on a little bit more, but I'm just going to address that for the moment. I am in a wonderful state of peace, in spite of the occasional sadness for those who are suffering. The relish of compassion is not sadness. Compassion for those who are suffering is holding them in the realization that each being that is experiencing whatever is being experienced through this situation, through this virus, is literally creating it for him or herself. And your mind is going to say, oh, now, wait a minute. I would never create this. Well, guess what? We, collectively, as the human race, have created this opportunity. We are the ones who have brought about what is happening right now. And you might say, well, I didn't do this. I wasn't one who brought this about in any way. Oh, but what about the oneness? What about union? What about all that is all that is, being the only way that you can truly experience your God self? So even the people in China, France, Italy, who are experiencing whatever they're experiencing with this particular situation, every single one of them is you. And you, as much as the people who are suffering or not suffering, the people who are trying to stem the tide or not, each one of them is you. So there is a compassion that can be felt that is not necessarily the same idea as holding sadness, because sadness doesn't get you anywhere. Sadness is the mind. Sadness is saying this shouldn't be this way, rather than, look at what opportunities we have. And she goes on to say, yes, even though they're doing distancing, the imposed distancing, they're having a needed respite from the crazy busy life that they've had for the last 4 years. So what else could have come along in those 4 years to say, okay, stop. You don't need to do this anymore. You don't need to live in this way anymore. It would take a lot, wouldn't it? Well, it took a lot, and here it is. And remember that even though everyone's thinking of the virus as like the enemy, it is a being. It is a being of God. It is not something that is evil. It is not something that is trying to hurt anyone. It is simply attempting to survive. So we are, so to speak, as the human species, in competition on the earth for space to live with this virus. And as our immune systems begin to become more and more aware of how to work with it, then the degree of severity will lessen. She says that she loses her sense of peace when she feels out of control. When I feel out of control of my situation, like when my daughter comes to visit, come with the kids, and I have to set limits. There isn't any reason that you have to feel out of control at all. You are in control of your life. You're in control of everything that is happening. Nobody else is controlling your life but you. There is nothing happening to you. And that's one of the things that's kind of interesting about this virus. Most people act as though it's happening to them rather than happening through them, because we are the creators. We are the creators of everything that we're experiencing as the divine I am. So everyone who is saying that this is consciousness raising, or it is time for Armageddon, or all of the beliefs that are out there, each person has their own belief, and they're all fine for them. That doesn't mean that you have to believe that as well. Welcome this opportunity to stand your ground when someone comes over to visit and you don't want them to do so because you're practicing social distancing, and let them know that this is not a time for this kind of interaction. This is a time to really foundation and be strong and to stand in the awareness of who you are, so that you do not allow others to walk all over you because of the relationship to you or what you think should be done or how it should be done. No, it is always about what is perfect for you. It feels so comforting and soothing to have time to just be. And this is really what's coming out of all of this, is the ability for people to just be, because there isn't anything else to do. Well, there's television to watch and there's games to play and that kind of thing. And some shopping for groceries, etc. But otherwise, it's about beingness. And in the relishing the beingness, the coming to the realization that this is the time to listen to your heart, to listen to yourself, then you begin to see why did we create this? Why are we literally stopping the earth and saying, okay, the merry-go-round has to stop. Now we need to look at what we as a human race want to experience as God's self. And then she went on to say, so here's something else that is coming up for me. discomfort when dealing with people who get angry when I don't believe their theories about what is really happening in the world. Conspiracies, predictions, possible cures. I guess this is related to dealing with other people who deny the possible seriousness, the need to take certain measures, bottom line, dealing with people's reactions and energy. Okay, this is kind of a big one because there are a lot of different people out there, so to speak, who are taking this opportunity to speak about it from their own perspective and to try to get you to believe that whatever they're saying is what is happening, rather than simply telling you, this is what I believe, this is how I hold this, and allowing you to make your own decision. Sometimes when people get angry, when people get upset, like she was saying, dealing with people who get angry when I don't believe their theories. When a person is getting angry because you don't believe their theory, it's because they don't believe their theory that much either. If a person really, really knows, and we really mean know here, as in really know, when a person really knows that what they are saying is true, they don't get mad when somebody else doesn't believe them. There isn't any reason to get mad because they are so foundationed in their own belief, which is the truth for them, that they simply allow other people to have their beliefs as well. So when there is this feeling that a person has to literally foist their belief on you or make sure that you believe the same way they do, know that they're doing so out of fear. They're afraid. And because they are afraid, they want you to join them in that fear so they don't feel so alone. And that's really what it's about. People who want to make sure that you follow their train of thought, that you say that they're right, that they are the one who knows, so to speak. When that happens, you can say, I get it, dear one. You are so afraid that you are wrong, that you want to make sure that I am saying that you are right. And this goes for any theory. She said conspiracies, predictions, cures, etc. Everybody wants to know. Everybody wants to be in control. It's like going back to the question about the nursing home. It's all about control. And that's one of the things that has happened with this virus, is that there isn't any control. There are certain things that can be done to restrict it or to sort of hold it back, but there's no controlling it. And because the predictions and the possible cures and all the ideas that people come up with are all about control, they're all saying, I know something that you don't know. When the real cure comes, we'll all know. The predictions themselves are always nonsense. Predictions are always nonsense. You cannot predict anything. We do not even know tomorrow what is going to happen. We can pretend that we can predict it, but in reality, we cannot. Just like no one could have predicted that this virus, say a year ago, would you have been able to predict that this virus would have shown up this way? No, of course not. And some people might say, oh yes, I knew something was coming. Well, that's an easy thing to say. Know that because we are creating the future, because we are creating what is happening moment to moment, there is no future out there. Nothing exists out there. There are possibilities. There is a limitless realm of possibilities of what is out there. And yet, in the reality of what is happening, there is no way to predict what is going to happen. There are some potentials, probabilities. Maybe this will happen, maybe that will happen. But that doesn't mean that it's going to, or that that person is right, nor that you have to believe in what they're saying. And remember, the more adamant they are, the more afraid they are. Hold them in the compassion of that understanding. Okay, so let's see where we're going to go now. Oh, this is lovely. Here is what I have to say. Love, light, and peace to you. Thank you for all your love and compassion and your willingness to help in these trying times. My heart is with your heart, and all those other hearts that would like to join us. We are one, and that is the oneness. The beauty of this is your willingness to help. And when she says trying times, I'm not so sure that they are trying. They're only trying if you are in resistance to what is happening, instead of being in allowance of what is happening. And when you allow what is happening to be, it doesn't feel trying at all. Oh, you might not be able to buy your favorite type of toilet paper or be in the store talking to all of your friends all of the time, but eventually that will come back. So rather than it being trying times, let us say willingness to help in these unusual, different times that we are creating. I cannot stress that enough, that we are all creating this together. This is not something to blame on a country or to blame on a person. This is a creation of self, for self, through self. It is literally stopping the world and saying, take a look. And each person is experiencing this in a different way. In the oneness, every single human experiences it in a totally different way. So allow it to be the recognition of what is possible for you, to be willing to help however you do, even calling up a friend, especially somebody you know who is alone, and just saying, how are you doing with this, the sequestering, the quarantining, and just have a little conversation. Doesn't have to be a big deal. Just let them know they're not so alone. And you will find that most people are really beginning to understand what it means to listen to themselves. That's the grace of this, to be able to go inside to you, to listen to your inner self, to meditate. Like the other lady was saying, being able to have the soothing time to just be, just being. How often before all of this, did you just give yourself time to be? Now you have so much time to be. And I know, for some people that's scary. For some people that's hard. For some people, I don't want to go there. Okay. But you're the one who's inviting yourself to do so, because you're part of the union, the one that is creating this opportunity for you. All right, next. Good afternoon, Tony. What is really getting to me is how much stuff people are constantly sending me in private messages or tagging me on Facebook, hoping I'll agree or justify. Watch this video or read this article. Our mind is searching for answers for sure. I've even shared stuff now I wish I could take back. I've had to step back from some people getting caught up in it too. The pressure to get the right information out, and that is not what needs to feed my soul right now. No, you are right. That is not what needs to fuel your soul right now. There are basically 4 pieces of information that everybody needs. Social distancing, wash your hands, stay home, and wear a mask if you want to if you go out. Other than that information, there isn't any information that you need at all. And everyone has received that information in a myriad number of ways from the get-go, the very beginning. The statistics, the ideas, the logistics of everything, how many people are dying here, how many people are sick there, what country's ahead, what country's behind. None of this means anything. Not really. It sort of tells you where we are in the cycle of it all. But looking at one news agency maybe every other day is going to give you that. There isn't anything that you need to know more than that. Your local area, how the grocery stores are handling, the pharmacies are handling traffic, what your doctor is doing, how your family is doing, all those personal things, of course. But other than that, there is nothing that you need to know. So when she's saying people are trying to get her to agree or justify, watch this video, read this article. That's what we're talking about when we're talking about predictions and conspiracies and theories. There are hundreds of articles and people out there. There are already books being written about the coronavirus. And everybody wants to pretend that they know. But what they are not realizing is that the only thing they know is that this is their time to listen and to be. to sit in silence, to be with themselves, to recognize themselves as the divine self. Anything else that the mind is saying, anything else that comes up as a concept or an idea, or somebody's guides have said this, or the divine masters have said that, all of these things, they are all just play and nothing more. And none of it means anything at all. Oh, of course, it means something to the people who are saying it. And to you, if you want to believe it, that's up to you. But in truth, it means nothing to I am. The divine I am that is living, creating, experiencing, witnessing this particular set of experiences and situations does not take any notice of that whatsoever, because none of it means anything. The only thing that really means something is how you are holding yourself in this moment. So when she says that is not what needs to feed my soul right now, she is very right. Nothing is going to feed you at all that is being given to you through news media or social media. There is no food to be had there. The only place that you truly want to experience yourself and to know you is in the silence of your heart, in the coherent silence of your heart, the voice of your soul that says to you, here I am, fall in love with me. Be silent in this moment. Sit in silence and let it be what it is, knowing that the earth itself is still spinning around the sun, and that eventually we will come out the other end of this. But the question is, how will we come out? Will we come out more informed about how many people thought they knew something? Or will we come out more aware of the divine self, more aware of yourself as the divine self? That's a question only you can answer, because you are the only one who knows how much time you will give yourself in this delicious period where everyone has literally said, we have to stay home. We have to be quiet. We have to stay away from others right now. And in this, do I get to really look at myself? So when she says our mind is searching for answers, that's what it's about. The mind is searching for answers, not the divine self. The divine self doesn't care about answers. There are no answers to be had. This is just an experience, just as going to the beach is an experience, or cooking dinner. This is simply another experience. It is what weight you place upon it, the significance you place upon it, which is always based upon your beliefs. It's the significance you place upon it that's going to change the way you experience you. And when you move into your heart space and you live in that place and only that place, then you will begin to recognize what this is truly all about. All righty, let's see, next. Hi, I've been studying spirituality for years now, had some great readings from you a few years back. I'm feeling really stuck. I have an option to rent my spare room out and have some money, or stay on my own and try to find a way to do some spiritual work, but will be very, very poor. I want to stay on my own here deeply, but worried about finances. This all happened suddenly. I have studied a lot and could do something. Have studied a lot and can do something, but lack direction, courage, and I believe trust. I feel I have been pushed here to start what it is I came here to do, but not sure how or what. Any feedback would be great and fantastic. Well, first of all, you say that you lack courage and trust. Well, we disagree. You had the courage and the trust to write that email. You had the courage and the trust to say, this is what's going on. So let's look at some of the words you're using here, because this is a reflection of what people are experiencing right now. This might seem like just a personal question, but it's what people are experiencing right now with reference to the economy and jobs and money. I can rent out my spare room and have some money, or stay on my own and try to find a way to do some spiritual work, but will be very, very poor. The choice of those words needs to change. Try to find a way to do some spiritual work. No trying. What you want to do, and this goes for anybody, is when you are going to recreate yourself, or create some kind of occupation. Some people have lost jobs and are going to have to recreate what their jobs are. What you want to do is not try, but to look into your heart space and see what your heart is really saying. What does your heart want to do? What does your heart want to experience? Because that is what people are going to experience through you. So when you are able to always have an answer to a question because you know that you are creating that answer yourself, rather than relying on a book or something that somebody else taught you or how you think you should be, you can create any type of work that you want to do, and you will not be very, very poor at all, because it will draw to you those people who really want to experience you as you and to create a new way of being for themselves that says, yes, 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 I get it. This is the glory of everything that we are experiencing right now. This is the beauty of what is happening. And we are going to continue it, and we're going to live in it, and we're going to be with you, and we're going to create this wonderful new future through the reality that you are bringing forward as you contribute whatever it is that you have, however you have it, in the recognition of what is possible for all beings everywhere. This is not about trying to do something or hoping that you're not going to be poor. This is about fulfilling the calling of your heart, allowing your heart to be the message that you are bringing forward, and to then understand that this is, yes, 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 the beauty of deciding to be on your own. You could rent out your room, of course. Nothing is going to stop you from renting out your room, nothing at all. Why not do both? Why not rent out your room and also do spiritual work? Why not allow all of it to be possible for you? You can have it all, you know. You don't have to do just one. You say that you've studied a lot and can do something. Well, good, you know that. But you lack direction and courage and trust. No, don't believe that. You do know your direction. You know the direction you want to go in. You simply don't trust yourself to go in that direction. But you can trust yourself, capital S, to be the direction pointer. So again, when you sit in silence and you listen to your heart and you let it tell you exactly what is going on, and you say, this is what I want to contribute. This is how I want to contribute. And I've had a lot of people say to me, oh, yes, 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 I have all of these gifts that I want to give, but so many other people are giving them too, and everybody's doing the same thing. There is no such thing as everybody's doing the same thing. Every single human who is doing something, no matter whether it be spiritual, physical, emotional, mental, is calling to them that which their vibration is transmitting. When you live in the divine self of you, the awareness of you as that divine self, and you transmit that, then other people who are in hunger, deep, deep hunger for that, will be drawn to you no matter what you're offering. You could be offering, I'm going to cook really great apple pies, which recently did happen here on this island recently. I'm going to offer all these apple pies, and everybody who tastes a piece of this apple pie is going to feel my love, is going to feel loved. That's the difference. It is listening to what your heart is truly saying. Then the trust comes, because you know that you are fulfilling what your heart says is perfect for you. Not what marketing media says, not what some coach says. It is what you want to experience, how you want to experience, and what you are going to do to bring it forward. Okay. Okay. This one says, okay, it starts out, okay. So here are my thoughts and inspiration. Since being told to separate from the rest of mankind, I came up with these thoughts. I am so involved with a routine in my life. I get up 5 days a week to go to work to earn a paycheck. Excuse me a minute. With this paycheck, I then get to buy sustenance and some entertainment, distractions, then repeat. Dream of my 2 days off to pack in some wonderful experiences so I can make it all seem worthwhile. My life has no purpose but a job and distractions. Why am I here? Excuse me. What is it that I want out of life? At this point, I have been so focused on earning enough to get out of the rat race. Economy has turned that down for me. So really, when I retire, what will I do? I have nothing planned. The goal was to just be out of the workforce so I would then be in charge of my own freedom. Will I have a house paid for? Will I have a vehicle paid off? Will I have a significant other in my life? Will I have health? Will I have financial freedom to do anything? I do love my comforts and the enjoyment I get from my personal belongings. I enjoy using the skills I have learned along the way. I still want more of these things and new experiences. Sometimes my body says to me, you have not been kind to me over the years and I am slowing you down. Less sleep each night. Too much time for past thinking and no vision for future times. Wanting to know the outcome, not staying present enough. Meditation to thinking, breathe. Well, isn't that a summation of what everybody's experiencing? What's going to happen? How am I going to fulfill my retirement plans, even though he says I have no plans? He says, so really when I retire, what will I do? I have nothing planned. The goal was to just be out of the workforce so I would then be in charge of my own freedom. Well, guess what? You're in charge of your own freedom right now. This is the time to be free. This is the time where it appears there are limitations and restrictions, and yet it's all about freedom. There's nothing that you have to do in the same way that you were doing it. So rather than trying to predict whether your car will be paid off or your house will be paid off or whether you'll have a significant other, go back to what I said about predictions. There's no way to know except by how you are living your life right now. When you live your life in this moment, as you are, with all of these doubts and fears, all you are going to do is to create more of the same. That's what we do. We just do it over and over and over again, just like a hamster wheel, spinning, spinning, spinning. When you move into saying, I know what I want. I want my house to be paid off. I want my vehicle to be paid off. I want good health. I want financial freedom to do anything. And then you move out of wanting to saying, this is what will be for me. You will be utterly surprised at what will happen. And yet, what happens with this is that your mind says, yeah. Okay, Tony, fine. You told me this before and it's not happening. No, because you doubt it. It's the doubting that creates more doubting. It creates the lack. Instead of saying, I know this is possible for me because I am the creator. I am God. I am the I am self. I am the one who is going to make all of this happen because I am the only one who can make all of this happen. Then when you come into the idea that your body says you haven't been kind to me over the years and I'm slowing you down, well, okay, then what does your body want? Ask it and listen to it. See what it says. See how it responds to you. What is it feeling is important for you in this moment? Rather than thinking I have to go to work, like you said, you go to work and I get my paycheck and then I buy sustenance and entertainment and I repeat and I try to pack in some wonderful experiences so they can all feel worthwhile. My life has no purpose. What purpose would you have your life have other than experiencing yourself as the I am? Any other purpose that you might believe is true for you isn't. People are always saying, I want to know what my purpose is. Your purpose is to experience. Your purpose is to live. Your purpose is to breathe. Anything else that your mind decides is important that you experience is just your mind deciding that's important to experience. It doesn't mean it's real. Remember, this is all an illusion. We're living in a movie. So decide what the script is going to say, how you're going to live within the script, and then move into a new recognition of what is possible for you. So when you say that you want to have days off, you want to pack in wonderful experiences so I can make it all seem worthwhile. Do the experiences have to be wonderful so it feels worthwhile? What about spending a day just on the weekend, just sitting quietly in nature without having anything else going on, being with you, feeling you, moving into the awareness of yourself, and as you do that, realizing that you are transmitting that energy into the whole, into the world, because everyone is experiencing you, and they experience you through the vibrations that you transmit. So when you are doubting, or you are afraid, or you're not sure, or you're not trusting, that's what people get. So if you're saying that you want a significant other in your life, what kind of significant other do you want? What kind of significant other do you want to bring to you, rather than saying, first I'm going to love myself. First I'm going to be absolutely, completely in love with myself, so that somebody else can fall in love with me, because that's what they're experiencing from me and through me and with me. That is the quality of life. It isn't about having a paid off car, a paid off house. All of those things are just like the window dressing. They are not the window themselves. And the quality of your life then begins to become very, very rich. You can have a really, really rich, worthwhile, fulfilling life when you begin to love you as the divine I am. Then everything else begins to become secondary. It's all fun or it's not fun, and you can decide what you prefer or you don't prefer, but it's like going to a buffet table, and you can pick out this, and this today, and that tomorrow. And none of it has any significance, because it is all just part of the game of being human on earth. So it isn't about trying to predict what's going to happen in the future. It is really about you, as you said, moving into breathing, wanting to know the outcome, not staying present enough. Yes, being present in this moment. What outcome? The outcome of what? There is no outcome. There's no, because as soon as you think there's an outcome, then the next thing happens. It's kind of like saying you have to stay in now. You know, everybody talks about being in the now moment. The moment you are in now, it's gone. And then the next now, it's gone. And the next now, and it's gone. It's the same thing about trying to predict an outcome. There's no outcome to predict. Everything, absolutely everything, is perfect as it is, if you will allow it and accept it. And as you said at the end of your message, breathe. Just breathe. And when you are breathing and being and allowing, everything else begins to become really, really simple. Okay, next. This message was filled with several ideas that are to promote fear. So I am not going to read that part of the question. I'm going to read the part that would be pertinent to our conversation today. My question and deep concern is how to compassionately help people come face to face with how our world has been run for so many years. Can you guide us in some way to assist others to be at peace that it is now over? And we assume he means the way the earth is being run. And it is time to rebuild our country back up with its founding principles and each other into the divine I am that we all came here to be. Well, the operative part of that message is that we all came here to be. The divine I am that we all came here to be. Well, surprise, surprise, as much as people may or may not like the government, or may or may not like the president, or may not like the CDC or anything else, all of it came here to be as the divine I am. Everything is the divine I am. All that is all that is. So when you think that we are supposed to rebuild our country back up with its founding principles, because that's what we came here to be, no, we came here to experience. So if you're saying that the divine I am is connected to the founding principles of the United States, well, from the standpoint that all it is all it is, yes. But every single country has a different set of founding principles. And some of them we might not agree with. There's a lot of countries that the United States doesn't agree with, the policies and the government. And yet every single one of them is the divine I am. So when you want to allow people to come face to face with how the world has been run for so many years, well, they're facing it. And it's only the people who can change it. But to do it, you can't do it through fear. You can't do it through trying to shock them or scare them or make them think something awful is going to happen. There's a lot of sales techniques out there that work with that. First, you scare the person. You really shock them with something, and then you show them what great relief you're going to bring them. That's an actual sales and marketing technique. That is not what this is about. The divine I am is everything. It is absolutely everything, whether you think it is grotesque or horrible, it is still the divine I am. So the reality that people are coming to right now is that they are not in control of things the way they thought they were in control, but rather they are establishing a new means of control through a realization that things don't have to be the way they were. So we're not going to bring our country back. It's time to rebuild our country back up. Not about rebuilding anything. It's about seeing what is next, seeing what is new, seeing what the divine I am is going to experience as itself through all of the different ways that this unfolds as it does so. It is never about fear. It is never about castigation. It is never about saying that a country or government is wrong. All of it is the divine. All of it is self. And yes, some people feel as though they are hurting more than others. Some people feel as though they don't like their life. That is the life they chose. And that is not to say that there is not compassion for everyone who is experiencing discomfort. Absolute compassion. What can we do to help? How can we assist you in this moment? And at the same time, to remove the idea of fear from the thought process of anything that is happening, and know that the divine literally is holding us all in its hand, so to speak, if it had a hand to hold, and saying, this is my experience as me. Now, how do you want it to be for you as me in form, God in form, the self, the divine self in human form? And that includes every person, every government, every politician, every idea. It leaves no one out. It leaves nothing out. Because all is perfect within divinity. Even though your belief system may not say that is true, to somebody else, there is a belief system that says that it is. It is all relative, and it is all pursuant to how you have been taught, what schools you went to, what country you live in, what city you live in, and what you personally deem as necessary, and this is a big one, for you to feel safe and secure, which usually means that the mind is saying, more knowledge, give me more information, tell me more, and I will feel safe and secure. Doesn't work, because that will change tomorrow, can easily change. So now is the time to listen to the heart, to really listen. And as you do, to let that heart message begin to become what you transmit to others. I just saw this email today and wanted to thank you for reaching out. The clarity and insight that I've gained from your readings and wisdom over the years have been invaluable to me on this journey. I know many of us are very concerned about this virus, but I truly feel the summer heat will wipe it out. My only concerns have been mainly financial based and settling in to my role as a single dad while having enough time and energy to clean house, take care of daughter, groceries, bills, and work on my resume and job search. I want to build my own healing, spiritual coaching style business eventually, but still haven't discovered what my unique gift or spin will be on it, since there are countless of these types of businesses out there already. On top of that, I still have a lot of work to do on myself and my own healing to attend to. Lately, I'm trying to take it day by day and get out of my head and into my heart more. However, so much of my daily responsibilities require me to be in my head to make decisions and get tasks done to stay afloat. On a positive note, I have joined a spiritual meetup group with some good people, and we've been doing group Skype sessions on and off during this lockdown period. Thanks for all that you do. So basically, this person is saying what we've been talking about. He is attempting to recreate himself, and he was obviously trying to recreate himself before all of this started. So it is a time now for him and you, all of us, to rely on this heart-based understanding to say, what do I really want? Like he's talking about working on his resume and doing a job search, and then wanting to build his own healing, spiritual coaching style business eventually, but still haven't discovered what his unique gift is going to be. That will come. First, all of these practical matters need to be taken care of. And as they are taken care of, the rest will unveil themselves so easily. It will be so easy to see what is next. And this is the positive note that he's talking about, joining this spiritual meetup group so that he can start to talk to other people about his ideas, join in union with other people who can help him begin to understand what he can give to the community, and then feel the quality, the true quality of what is possible for him, so that he doesn't have to feel like he is alone at all. Because being a single dad, taking care of the house and the daughter and groceries and bills and doing all of these things, that feels like a lot. And yet, what beautiful, glorious opportunity it is to enjoy every single moment of it. To say, yes, 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 this is what I am doing now. And next and next and next, what is next? What is the glory of what is next as the divine self? And to know me as that divine self. Because so long as you're listening to your mind, so long as you're lost in your mind, so long as the ego personality is saying, oh, no, 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 it has to be this way or that way, you are not being aware of your life as self. You are not being aware of your divine presence. You're just lost. And he is not. He is not at all, because what he is doing here so beautifully is doing all of these pieces that need to be done, finding some people to help support him, and bringing about a whole new reality for himself. Congratulations, dear one. Okay, let's see, next. Even though I don't have concerns or fears about what is going on around us, I did want to respond to your offer to ask questions and share hopes. The work I've been doing with you the last few months has really grounded me. The material on coherency was fantastic for me, especially as it tied right in with the Sanskrit material from Shanti Shanti. I've known all this intellectually, but now I know it in my heart, so thank you for your guidance. It's been interesting to observe my children, and I'm going to paraphrase this about the children so that we don't expose identities. One of the children has been remarkably calm and upbeat. She's part of a response team in a health department, and what she is doing is making sure that she knows what's really going on and letting the family know. So she has said that she doesn't have any anxiety because she knows what's going on. And that has helped the other child immensely because she also has to be in control of everything. So when the child who knows what's going on, because the young lady who knows what's going on because she's working in a health department with the state, is able to convey to everybody else what's really going on without fear, without any kind of media sensationalism, then everybody else's anxiety begins to retreat and everybody begins to feel so much better. And then she went on to say that one person had told one of her children that she was irresponsible for wanting to go to Costco. And what this lady said who sent me this email was that she told this child what I had said in the Zoom conversation last month about people projecting their beliefs onto others. So she passed that information on and just told her child to take the necessary precautions and don't let other people's beliefs influence you. And I cannot stress that enough. That is one of the biggest pieces of all of this. Do not let anybody else's beliefs impact what you are experiencing. Let it be what you are experiencing personally, alone, with your own knowing. Listen to your heart. It is the voice of your soul. It speaks as spirit as you. And when you do this, you will find yourself absolutely at ease. You will feel no anxiety. You will not be upset. You will feel calm. You will feel peace, because you are no longer listening to the media and the fear-mongering that goes on, because people do not know that they are the divine. And as the divine, we have created this experience together for ourselves, and we can relish in it if we will allow ourselves to do so. So closing, one lady said, "Thank you for this beautiful offering. I will be utilizing this amazing gift." Well, what was funny is that she didn't send me anything. She didn't send me any questions or comments, even though she said she'd be utilizing this amazing gift. So what I read into that is that she's using this amazing gift to be the answer for others. That this opportunity, this beautiful offering that she's referring to, is herself. And that she is giving herself an opportunity, an invitation, if you would, to allow others to ask her questions. And as she does so, to bring about a new understanding in herself and others that will complete their awareness of themselves as the divine I am. And isn't that what all of this is about? Is coming to the realization of who and what you are in the silence of your heart. And as you do so, to begin to allow others to know this as well, because you are the model, you are the mirror for so many. You have no idea how many other people look at you and want to copy you, or mimic you, or be like you. So what do you want them to see in that model? How do you want them to experience life? Is it through fear? Is it through anxiety? Is it through worry? Is it through anger? No, 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 no. What you want to do is for them to feel the love and compassion, the sense of well-being that you have for yourself, and therefore for them. Because this is the message of this time. Union, oneness, compassion, helping, love, listening. These are our messages. These are the messages for right now that we can take into the beautiful future that we are creating for ourselves. Thank you so much for sharing this time with me. It has been an absolute delight to be able to comment upon the questions that came my way. And if any of you have other questions that would like to be answered later, we can do another video. Enjoy, enjoy, enjoy this time to be with yourself, to be alone, to focus upon your heart, and know that the divine I am, that which you are, is the blessing that you are giving to this world as we feel the divine union that has not been felt in this way before, and we begin to transform ourselves into the self-realized beings, the true self-realized beings that we truly are.